care may be covered at little or no cost to you.
With US Med, I feel confident and control of my diabetes. I can finally live my life to the fullest.
Don't let diabetes hold you back. Choose US Med and experience better birthdays, better adventures, better anniversaries, and better everything. Call now. US Med. Better service, better care. 800-515-2380. 800-515-2380. 800-515-2380. That's 800-515-2380.
News Talk STL. This hour of the Allman Report brought to you by STL Fenceworks, celebrating 50 years of industry-leading service for fence, deck, and leisure space solutions. Visit stlfenceworks.com.
Good afternoon, everyone, and happy Wednesday to all of you and yours. This is the 3 Martini Lunch. It's Common Sense Radio. It's the Allman Report on News Talk STL. Jamie Allman here with you. Ashlyn over there. She was, I guess, just regaling me with stories of hearing from RJ, which is very cool, in the Air Force. I'm sorry, what location is he now? I forgot where he is situated.
So this week he'll be going to California.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, and you said his language switched too. So and this is the language they study, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He was going to get Persian Farsis, but now he has Mandarin.
Oh, good.
Which is what he wanted, so it's exciting.
Yeah, that's very cool. And who needs Persian Farsi anyway? We've heard enough of that as it is. And also, just as a little bit of a nice little gem there, he has grown his hair out. So I didn't know they let him grow their hair out after a while.
Yeah, just for the school part.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm sure he's going to have to buzz it soon.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, you tell him we all really appreciate his service and your family's service as well. So thank you, Ashley. All right, people. So, yes, man. So I was talking to my buddy Phil Valencia last night about this, and he nailed it because I was thinking the same thing as the day went on. And really, honestly, this is kind of like the death of Elvis, the death of Dolly Parton. I mean, she had that kind of swagger and influence outside of her genre, which is really very, very hard to do. And I guess technically, she did 9 to 5 and, the Islands in the Stream and those kinds of things, which were not necessarily country songs and that kind of thing. So she had some broader appeal in that sense. But I have to tell you, she really, it's absolutely akin to Elvis, I think, in terms of what the shock and just how people are feeling about it. And it doesn't matter whether you ask, the President of the United States or the guy, the elevator man. Is there still an elevator man? I don't know. Everybody has an opinion about Dolly Parton, which I think is really super cool. And I'm thinking that is Tim Curry? Kathleen is announcing the possible death of Tim Curry. I don't know. They die in threes. Is that what normally kind of happens? Well, here we go. But it is really super interesting how she just cuts across all different kinds of genres and people, and everybody knows her. Everybody knows her name. It's pretty crazy. And I think in some ways, down the line, we can probably name a few people who are going to be just like that. And Tim Curry, yes, Kathleen arriving. With Kathleen, her avatar is a robe and a sickle. She starts to announce the deaths of other people. I hereby declare now Tim Curry half dieth at 80th. I'm not laughing at his death. Please, people. What was the show? Damn it. How can I not remember this? I'm so ate up. Is it the Rocky Horror Picture Show? Yeah, I got tales from U City of the Rocky Horror Picture Show because down at the Varsity Theater, which is or used to be right next to Blueberry Hill, right there in my old hometown of U City, they had the Rocky Horror Picture Show every single I guess it was Wednesday nights maybe or whatever. It's at midnight. And it was the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And here's Jeff Allen with the dispatch from the newsroom. Here we are announcing. All right, here we go. Thank you, Jeff Allen. Normally we should have you in here and you should be reading this with a little beep 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 from the desk. Announcing legendary actor Tim Curry, the Rocky Horror Picture Show star, died Tuesday in L.A., age of 80. Suffered a stroke in 2012, had been dealing with serious health issues for more than a decade. According to TMZ, police responded to his home 11/23, no foul play, and he, of course, star of the Rocky Horror Picture Show, Dr. Frankenfurter. I never really, so there were certain people into the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and they would go all dressed up as the characters. And I hope you don't think I'm like, well, Allman, why are you explaining something everybody knows? All I'm saying is that but there was a group of people like in high school who went to the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and they went and they sang, along with all the songs, knew all the songs, dressed in the costumes. It was really a thing. It was really great. I never did that, and it wasn't because I felt like I was too cool or they were whatever. It wasn't something I did. But a lot of people from my class and who I knew did it. I was doing like ate-up drug things, like watching the 100 Motels, the Flo and Eddie, Frank Zappa movies. So that's where I was. I was zipping into those crazy. I think it was 1,000 Motels or something. You guys will figure it out. Anyway, yes, so here we go. And they are saying, because we were all wondering what was going on with the cause of death, Dolly Parton had some kidney problems, and there was a brief period of cancer, according to a headline I am seeing as well. So what an angel Dolly Parton was, and we'll see. Phil did not predict the death of Tim Curry that I am aware of. And the last time, well, you guys know the George Jones story because I had said, that it was literally on the radio, and I said I was going to. George Jones was my Elvis, and I was going to go to his funeral when he died, and he died the next day. So since that time, people have been telling me that they do not want me to talk about them in glowing ways like that ever, and so I don't really talk in those ways. All right, I want to get to this really pretty amazing clip, and it just goes to show you that really the dirty, sloppy, sleazy news media is not a recent phenomenon. I mean, it goes way back. I mean, you guys remember Sam Donaldson, right? And how he treated Ronald Reagan, and even for that matter, Richard Nixon. And so Sam Donaldson was an a-hole. And so we've known these characters. It's like Jim Acosta, you know. So these people really, they had some way of hiding it a little differently back then. Like they looked a little, didn't always give up the ghost, you know, and they weren't as obviously liberal. Sam Donaldson always has been liberal. Barbara Walters in 1977 interviewed Dolly Parton, and Dolly Parton was only 31 years old in this Barbara Walters interview. And when you see how Dolly Parton handled the classless Barbara Walters, I mean, comparatively to the people on The View now, Barbara Walters looks like Edward R. Murrow. But the fact of the matter is, at the time, and although I do admire Barbara Walters, I admire many of the women in 70s television. Jessica Savage was one of them. Diane Sawyer was another one of them. Barbara Walters. I really think it was really super hard, I have to admit, for women in that period of time to even Connie Chung was really, they were talented people, but it was super hard for them to break through. And the fact that they did is a really great thing. It's an admirable thing. But that doesn't take away the fact that Barbara Walters, probably of all of the women who broke into television then and kind of broke that glass ceiling of television news, Barbara Walters squandered it probably more than any of the other women. When you look at Leslie Stahl, Jessica Savage, when you look at Diane Sawyer, even Connie Chung, they didn't go out as a bunch of classless individuals. Diane Sawyer, I mean, even what's her nuts there from the Today Show. I forgot her name, but she was always kind of weird to me because she had this fake type of accent, you know, or whatever she was doing. She just really, and she does, I think, the CBS Sunday mornings now too. Can't remember her name, but Jane Pauley. Yeah. But they were all, I mean, I grew up watching them, I admired them, but Barbara Walters was really obnoxious. So she's interviewing Dolly Parton, who is at the age of 31. And the way that Dolly Parton handled these questions from Barbara Walters is really super amazing, and I want to let you hear it.
Dolly, where I come from, would I have called you a hillbilly?
If you had of, it would have been something very natural, but I would have probably kicked your shins or something. No, actually.
But when I think of hillbillies, am I thinking of your kind of people?
I think you probably...
Can you believe this, Barbara Walters, and how uppity and vile and conceited and New York Barbara Walters is treating Dolly Parton? This is 1977. It's not like country music and people like that were some kind of anomaly or new. But as you can see, even in this early stage in media, 1977, which isn't exactly early, but you know what I'm saying, that it was chock full of a bunch of elitist piglets like Barbara Walters who treated people like Dolly Parton, and keep in mind, in 1977, at the age of 31, Dolly Parton was very well established. I mean, she was selling a lot of records and doing everything else. So Barbara Walters treats her like she's some kind of, well, hillbilly. Your kind of people? I mean, this is outrageous.
Where I come from, would I have called you a hillbilly?
If you had of, it would have been something very natural, but I would have probably kicked your shins or something.
Yeah, and of course, Dolly is so full of class, and doesn't dare mention anything about Barbara Walters' speech impediment. What do I call people like you, Barbara? With Barbara hillbilly? I mean, I'm surprised she actually was able to utter hillbilly, because normally Barbara Walters would do like hillbilly. Would we call you a hillbilly?
Where I come from, would I have called you a hillbilly?
If you
how often do you think Barbara Walters had to practice the word hillbilly in the mirror? Did she have to go to the My Fair Lady school of not sounding like you have a speech impediment? Because in any other area, Barbara Walters would have said hillbilly. Do we call you a hillbilly?
It would have been something very natural, but I would have probably kicked your shins or something. No, actually.
But when I think of hillbillies, am I thinking of your kind of people?
I think you probably are. The people that grew up where I was were the ones that you would consider the little Abner people, Daisy Mae and that sort of thing. They took that kind of thing from people like us, but we were very proud people with a lot of class. It was country class, but it was a great deal of class.
Yeah, no doubt about it. This gives me the goosebumps because it's so sweet, and it's so true. And Dolly Parton isn't defensive, and she absolutely tells the truth about the people of Appalachia. And you're talking about the people of Tennessee and Kentucky and even West Virginia, for that matter, who are all great people. And I've explained to you before sometimes just how wonderful the Appalachian people were, and I will include Andrew Jackson in that. He was the first president out of Appalachia. He was the first president not from the Eastern Seaboard who was elected president. And he was elected president by the proud people, not only probably on the Eastern Seaboard, but the proud people of Appalachia, Tennessee, and beyond. I've told you before why I love, like, I don't know whether you guys have heard Bill Monroe, and there's a really great documentary called The High Lonesome Sound. And the reason why, when you hear Bill Monroe, he sings very high, and that's because, as you'll learn in the documentary, Bill Monroe and Doc Watson, those people, man, it is bluegrass. Dag, that is some good stuff. And so Bill Monroe would tell the story about how the reason why he and others, even Bob Wills down in Texas, they sang a little bit like that, where some of the guys sang with these high voices. And that's because they learned to sing from their grandmothers and their mothers, because in music, and they played a lot of music in Appalachia, the women were always the ones who sang, and the men were the ones who played the instruments. And so Bill Monroe, growing up, learned how to sing like that because he didn't know any other way that people were singing except the way his grandmother sang. I mean, isn't that sweet? I should play you some Bill Monroe. But anyway, she is really, she has this, she's wearing this beautiful blue dress, and she's got her big blonde hair, and she's got this beautiful light blue rose in her hair. And she's talking to this witch, Barbara Walters, and I just love how she talks about where she comes from and everything.
But when I think of hillbillies, am I thinking of your kind of people?
I think you probably are. The people that grew up where I was were the ones that you would consider the little Abner people, Daisy Mae and that sort of thing. They took that kind of thing from people like us, but we were very proud people people with a lot of class. It was country class, but it was a great deal of class. And most of my people were not that educated, but they are very, very intelligent. Good common sense, horse sense, we called it.
Wow, look at that. How often have we heard that? You guys hear me harp on all the time about how, and Barbara Walters, of course, would be among those people, and many people in the media think that only people who go to college, or even for that matter, graduate from high school, are educated. But this is the way we talk in modern day now among all of us in Trump world, in the world of politics and beyond. We know for a fact, and she mentions even common sense. And you know, that's something now everybody started picking up. I started my show called it Common Sense Radio in 2005, but that's 1977. She's talking about common sense and how even though they weren't educated by the standards of Barbara Walters in the news media, they were smart, they were intelligent. And we've been talking about that for God knows how long. You know how much I go off on these polls and things like that when they say among college-educated people, blah, 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 and non-college educated people. And we know what the difference is. The non-college educated people are oftentimes smarter and better for this country than the college-educated people are. So Dolly hits on something that ultimately would come home to roost decades later.
Country class, a great deal of class, and most of my people were not that educated, but they are very, very intelligent. Good common sense, horse sense, we called it.
Dolly, did you look like this when you were a kid?
Not quite.
I mean, you didn't have the blonde wig, but when you went to school, when you were...
Did you? I mean, listen to her. You didn't have the blonde wig. It's like, I mean, again, you guys heard me earlier when I talked about Aaron Burnett and some of these women in broadcasting who always have the knives out for Melania or for President Trump's executive assistant or any woman that's prettier than they are. They always figure out a way to be nasty to them because they're born-bred bullies and mean girls. And Barbara Walters right there, when she slips in wig, I'm sure Dolly Parton doesn't care, but she slips in, she's doing that on purpose. You know, you always have this blonde wig. It's like, really? Man.
11, 12, 13. Was it this about you?
Well, you mean the full figure?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, I thought that's what you meant. Well, actually, I've always been pretty well blessed. As a child, I grew up fast. Other members of my family, have done the same.
My assistant asked me something, and I'm going to blame it on her because I wouldn't have had the nerve otherwise. Is it all you?
Oh, listen to her. She's about to throw her assistant under the bus because Barbara Walters doesn't have the courage to simply ask the question herself. And so she's going to blame it on her assistant when she's asking maybe a difficult question or whatever. And so really, we're really seeing the Barbara Walters that we grew to despise back in the day and who wound up actually having more of a burnished image because she sat with all of these women's prison system hosts there on The View. And so she looked kind of like Marilyn Munster in the Munster family after all of that. But this is the real Barbara Walters.
Fast. Other members of my family, have done the same.
My assistant asked me something, and I'm going to blame it on her because I wouldn't have had the nerve otherwise. Is it all you?
Well, I can't show you here on television.
I'll take your word for it.
I get asked that question. I always answer that because people are in awe of the whole thing.
So, talking about her breasts and hair, whatever, is it all you? And by the way, this is also why even the news media was kind of vile even back then because who cares in the end? I don't. None of that matters to most normal people, except for people who have to find a way to re-emphasize their own egos because they feel like they are insufficient. So they have to kind of say, oh, those aren't real. Oh, that's this. Oh, that's a facelift. Oh, this is this. That kind of thing. Because Barbara Walters feels inferior, which is really kind of one of the characteristics of a bully and a jealous woman. And so she's got to ask Dolly Parton whether they're real to try to objectify her to a certain degree, bring her down a little bit, call it a wig, call her a hillbilly, all this kind of thing. And, man, even back then, this is 1977,
A lot of people say I have. A lot of people say I haven't. I always say that if I hadn't have had it on my own, I'm just the kind of person that would have had me some maid.
You don't have to look like this.
I mean,
you're very...
And of course, that's great. I don't know whether you heard what Dolly Parton just said, but she said, well, I will tell you that if I hadn't had him on my own, I would have had him made. I mean, she's 31 years old, and she is obliterating Barbara Walters here. But she's not. It's not purposeful. She's just answering questions, being real. But that's pretty funny, right there.
I get asked that question. I always answer that because people are in awe of the whole thing. A lot of people say I have. A lot of people say I haven't. I always say that if I hadn't have had it on my own, I'm just the kind of person that would have had me some maid.
You don't have to look like this. You're very beautiful. You don't have to wear the blonde wigs. You don't have to wear the extreme clothes, right?
No.
I want to go back. I want to find out where Barbara Walters is buried, dig her up, and shake her over that question. Can you believe this? I mean, and like Barbara Walters is lecturing the 31-year-old Dolly Parton, like, you don't have to be this way. You're pretty on your own. It's like, what is it your business, Barbara Walters? Wow, this is just unbelievable.
You don't have to look like this. You're very beautiful. You don't have to wear the blonde wigs. You don't have to wear the extreme clothes, right?
No, it's certainly a choice. I don't like to be like everybody else. I've often made this statement that I would never stoop so low as to be fashionable. That's the easiest thing in the world to do. So I just decided that I would do something that would at least get the attention. Once they got past the shock of the ridiculous way I looked and all that, then they would see there was parts of me to be appreciated. I'm very real.
And that's typical of Barbara Walters and these journalists, is they take everything so seriously. Like, Barbara Walters is the kind of person who would interview Minnie Pearl and say, you don't really need to have that tag hanging off your hat, do you? I mean, because they take everything so seriously, because they are a bunch of boring, uncreative weirdos, and they don't understand what showmanship or showwomanship is all about. But that's what she would do. She'd ask, the guy on Hee Haw, you don't really need to wear those overalls, do you? I mean, this is unbelievable. But, man, Dolly Parton is knocking it out of the park.
Well, that's the world to do. So I just decided that I would do something that would at least get the attention. Once they got past the shock of the ridiculous way I looked and all that, then they would see there was parts of me to be appreciated. I'm very real where it counts, and that's inside, and as far as my outlook on life and the way I care about people and the way I care about myself and the things that I care about. But I just chose to do this, and show business is a money-making joke, and I've just always liked telling jokes.
But do you ever feel that you're a joke, that people make fun of you?
Oh, I know they make.
You want me to stop this because my blood is boiling. I still want to walk through it because I want you to hear Dolly Parton and her unbelievable class in this whole thing. And and thankfully you're not looking at the video, because you'll look at Barbara Walters' face and how she looks off into space as she's asking a question dismissively of Dolly Parton, and your blood would be boiling right now. So I'm looking at it for you. So there you go.
Money, and I've just always liked telling jokes.
But do you ever feel that you're a joke, that people make fun of you?
Oh, I know they make fun of me. But actually, all these years, the people, has thought the joke was on me, but it's actually been on the public. I know exactly what I'm doing, and I can change it at any time. Or I make more jokes about myself than anybody. Because I enjoy it. I know, like I say, I am sure of myself as a person. I'm sure of my talent. And to me, and I'm sure of my love and for life and that sort of thing, I'm very content. I like the
that little wind chimey sound you're hearing is Dolly Parton's awesome earrings that are hanging from her ears. She's got like these two little things, and so that little ding 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 are her earrings.
Person that I am, so I can afford to piddle around and diddle around with makeups and clothes and stuff because I am secure with myself.
Listen,
unlike Barbara Walters, obviously.
Tell me about this marriage of yours, this man whom nobody ever seems to see. We heard that he was here. We heard that he was in town, but none of us have seen him.
Listen to her. Tell me about this marriage of yours. I mean, she acts like she's from some 1940s film noir movie as she fakes this elitist metropolitan accent. Tell me about this marriage of yours. We never see him.
Paul Dean, you don't see him very much. You're on the road most of the time. You've said, I know that this marriage will always last. This man gives me everything I need.
And in fact, it did. I don't know. I haven't bothered to look at the fate of Barbara Walters' marriages or anything of that nature, but Carl Dean wound up being with her until the end of his life at the age of 82 years ago. And this is just, I mean, and it's 1977. Barbara Walters is basically trying to insinuate that Dolly Parton is a bad person because she doesn't see her husband enough. This is coming from a woman who broke into national television and is working and probably not seeing her husband a whole lot either. So, I mean, this is unbelievable.
This man whom nobody ever seems to see. We heard that he was here. We heard that he was in town, but none of us have seen him. Paul Dean, you don't see him very much. You're on the road most of the time. You've said, I know that this marriage will always last. This man gives me everything I need. How do you know?
Well, I need freedom. The man gives me freedom.
So why get married?
Well, why not?
Why? I mean, if what you want most is freedom, why have a husband tucked away someplace to see 6 weeks a year?
But he has the same freedom. See, the thing of it is, you don't find a person that you can be happy with and that can accept you the way you are and can share the things and to plan for the future and to enjoy your home. We have our foundation, we have our roots, we have all the things that everybody's looking for, and that's happiness in a marriage. I've got better things to do than to sit around in my room thinking, oh, what's Carl doing tonight? I wonder if he's with somebody and this and that.
Good for her. I mean, this is such a great contrast between real, honest-to-goodness, great Americans and Barbara Walters. That's all I can say about that part of it. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for listening to the show.
It's a lesson too late for the learning.
So, I got to tell you, I love that interview. You can probably find it. I think I found it there on, let's see, Real Clear Politics, something like that. I'll give you the, oh no, it's Red State. It's really good. You can check it out there. Phil Powers mentioning Barbara Walters was married to 3 different dudes. Thank you, Phil, for looking that up for me. My goodness gracious. Is that not another great example of the hypocrisy of these individuals, like Barbara Walters telling a 31-year-old Dolly Parton that Barbara Walters knows better about what a marriage is than Dolly Parton, who wound up being married to the same guy 59 years, and Barbara barreling through 3 different dudes. Oh, well, it's crazy. Hey, somebody wants to blow up the ballroom. We'll follow up on that. This is Common Sense Radio. It's the Allman Report on News Talk STL. This, by the way, is the late, great Porter Wagner and Dolly Parton.
This I know, this I know.
The weeds have been steadily growing.
Please don't go, please don't go.
Are you
Going away with no word of farewell? Will there be not a trace left behind?
I could have loved you better, didn't mean to be unkind.
And then the media.
1019 and 94.1.
They lying about what's going on in America. They lying about it.
News Talk STL.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Gemini Wealth Group, the GeminiWealthGroup.com, and I got to tell you, these guys are amazing. The guardians of your golden year galaxy. That is fantastic. And I say that because there are 5 of them, and so it's a team of really great and super experienced individuals. So more than 150 years experience combined in investiture, in diversification of investiture, in the outlook of as it relates to health planning and where you're going to live and all that kind of stuff. 20, 30, 40 years. That's where how people are living after their retirement. And that's really pretty amazing. It's a great thing in many cases, as long as you have money. So it's fun to live 30 years past your retirement, but if you're winding up in the tail end, kind of digging through the folds of your couch for change, that's not a life. And so they want to make sure that you're able to go ahead and get all that taken care of and get that comfort, that peace of mind. And for those of you who are kind of on the verge of retiring, like you want to retire, but you still love that paycheck, they can work it out. So in the end, after you meet with them, they can give you a permission slip of sorts saying, hey, look, here's what we did. This is what's great. You can untether yourself from the paycheck and go on with your life because you're set. We got it all together, and we're going to grow, for instance, the money you have so that you're living off the dividends and not even touching that. That's what pros they are when it comes to investing and making sure things work out well. So check it out. These are proud sponsors of free, common sense, conservative radio. The GeminiWealthGroup.com, the GeminiWealthGroup.com.
You know, I'm very proud to say Wellington Environmental has been sponsoring Larry Connors USA for more than a dozen years. Wellington can help you with any hazardous issues at your home or office. And Wellington also helps protect our troops, our nation. Recently, Wellington Environmental has been disinfecting Army vehicles and equipment just back from overseas deployment, making sure they didn't bring back disease or other contaminants. Wellington is also working on some classified jobs with Boeing, and has for years. One hospital had issues with possibly contaminated water. Wellington is on the job. Wellington is also monitoring water wells at an industrial site. Again, in addition to all these big jobs, Wellington can make sure there are no health hazards in your home. He's done it for me. So I'm more than glad to endorse Wellington Environmental. Check them out, environmentalcare.com, environmentalcare.com. Wellington Environmental, your world cleaner, better, safer. Be well with Wellington. This is Larry Connors, and I strongly endorse McGuire Moving and Storage. Moving locally, long distance, home, office, and keep in mind they have warehouse storage available for you. Moving anything, anywhere. McGuire Moving and Storage. 314-241-0600. 241-0600. Check them out, McGuireMoving.com. McGuireMoving.com, and get your free estimate today.
Larry Connors Commentary, brought to you by McGuire Moving and Storage. Home or business, local or long distance. Contact McGuire Moving and Storage. Free estimates and free on-site appraisal. McGuireMovingandStorage.com. This is Larry Connors Commentary on News Talk STL.
Real Clear Politics is conservative. With that in mind, take note of this article. Islamic leaders see ballot box as path to paradise. It points out Muslims now control several small cities. And in Dearborn, Michigan, an all-Muslim city council. New York City is led by a Muslim. His staff is mostly Muslim. The article is not just calling out political lines, it's emphasizing Islamists who insist that soon they will rule America are using the ballot box, invading, imposing Sharia law in these and other cities and the nation. In Minneapolis, the Muslim Attorney General and lawmakers didn't bother checking for Muslim fraud. And currently, almost 200 American Muslims hold office in 26 states. It's happening in Europe, Germany, London, France. In fact, in France, a recent survey shows a majority of Muslims in France prefer Sharia law over French law. This is just beginning and escalating. You should be reminded, when the canary stops singing in the coal mine, it is too late.
Get more Larry Connors on Larry Connors USA.
Tonight at 6 on News Talk STL. If you have a phone, you have a radio.
Yes, I listen on my phone.
Download the all-new News Talk STL app.
Love the all-new News Talk STL app.
It is awesome.
And listen anytime,
Love the News Talk STL app.
anywhere. The Allman Report, sponsored by Gulf Shores Restaurant.
How'd you do, I see you've met my faithful hand in hand. He's just a little broad-eyed.
So, ladies and gentlemen, only here at the Allman Report and in this day and age could you possibly go from Dolly Parton and Porter Wagner singing I Love You Till the End of the Hills to Sweet Transvestite by Tim Curry. And you're not even getting charged for this. Variety. You're not even getting charged for this unpredictability. This wild show. Well, it's not my fault Tim Curry died the day after Dolly Parton, so I gotta put my quarter in another jukebox and play a little bit from what made Tim Curry so famous.
Could we use your phone?
Okay, that's enough of that. Thank you. Sweet transvestites. I don't even know whether those words actually come out of that song. I do know I can do Tim Curry. Yeah. By the way, I'm assuming by some of the messages I'm getting and seeing, I'm assuming that some of the women in the audience are already on the website called Find a Grave, looking for where Barbara Walters is buried, so they could dig her up and beat her. You guys know there is a website called Find a Grave. Do you know that, Ashlyn? It's called Find a Grave. And you could literally put anybody in there, but you can find out where all the famous people. I'm not suggesting that you find Barbara Walters' grave. What I'm saying is that there is a site called Find a Grave. It's kind of fun to play around with because people leave messages. You can leave flowers at Find a Grave, and it's a picture of the grave of whoever you want to look up. So. Or dig up and beat. No, I'm just kidding. I don't advocate that kind of desecration. It's terrible, and you wouldn't want to do that. So Julie's like, I'm on Find a Grave. Oh, I guarantee you one of you will put a link to her grave up on the Facebook page, Rumble page, won't you? Because you're that kind of people. You have a little fun here and there, don't you? Yes, you do. All right. You guys have heard from this Larry Krasner. He's the Philly district attorney. And I honestly don't know. Somebody on Twitter said, if this lunatic isn't arrested for this by the Secret Service, why do we even bother to have laws? Why are individuals in this society at levels of elected office allowed to speak this way? because this isn't freedom of speech. This is a dog whistle to blow up or damage the ballroom. This is what these guys do. So you have these politicians who will talk about going out to the gasoline stations and confronting Trump supporters or doing this and doing that, and or the anti-Israel ones or whatever, and they're encouraging violence. They did that to Charlie Kirk and got it. So they're encouraging violence. They wouldn't do it themselves, but what they're doing is they're putting it in somebody's mind. And this is the Philadelphia DA, Larry Krasner.
And I'm going to have a paperweight sitting on my desk. You know what that paperweight's going to be? It's going to be a piece of the ballroom after we all blow it up. That's what it's going to be. In an official ceremony, just so we're clear. In an official ceremony, we're going to blow it up, and we're going to give the taxpayers their money back by selling all the pieces as paperweights, and I will have one on my desk.
Yeah. So I realize that people can say, well, he was just talking that way and blah, 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 blah. And that's probably true. But it doesn't mean he shouldn't account for it or pay for it. And the fact of the matter is, this is a guy who purposely ignores the fact, and I've told you this before, that the ballroom is actually a bunker. It's a military installation, basically posing as a ballroom. So it's a ballroom, but it's got, well, as President Trump even described it, it was no, but unfortunately the situation was leaked to the press, so President Trump had to talk about it. But the ballroom is just simply a facade. It's like those bookcases, you know, that you push it and it turns in, and it turns around. You can walk through it into a separate room or what have you. That's kind of what the ballroom is. And it's a communication center. It's a bunker. It's a military installation. It's to ensure that the commander-in-chief and staff and everything else don't have to be helicoptered out to Mount Weather or to another bunker someplace. They stay there. And that's the purpose, really, in the end of the ballroom, but nobody gets it in Krasner. And plus, taxpayer dollars, taxpayer dollars aren't being used for that. It's all people who are putting money up as investors. But Larry Krasner is no stranger to this kind of talk. This is him wanting to hunt down ICE agents.
This is a small bunch of wannabe Nazis. That's what they are. In a country of 350 million, we outnumber them.
Yeah, so you get the picture here, but this is the level of discourse from elected officials who know that they are telegraphing violence or urging violence to their audience. And so that's basically what that is. So we'll just do Tim Curry. And hey, Mr. Krasner, Tim Curry can make you a man.
Weighing 98 pounds will get sand in his face.
I've never really been a huge fan of the Rocky Horror Picture Show, so I'm doing this under duress, okay? At the end of the segment, too. It's Common Sense Radio. It's the Allman Report on News Talk STL.
On the day I went away, was all I had to say.
St. Louis's place to talk.
Freedom of speech is one of the anchors of our society.
News Talk STL.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hanson's Tree Service. By the way, happy birthday to Chad Hanson. His birthday was yesterday. Happy birthday, Chad. You're the best. And I got to tell you, Chad Hanson is the best when it comes to tree care and when it comes to continuing on the great tradition established by his late great dad, Jeff Hanson, who created Hanson's Tree Service. And we lost Jeff a while back in an untimely way. And Chad, though, stepped up. Young man, and man, has he grown Hanson's Tree Service into something I know that Jeff would be proud of. They are people who are committed to making sure that everything is done top to bottom correct. When they remove a tree, you basically don't even know they were there. That's how much they care about taking care of you when it comes to tree removal and not ruining your lawn, doing that kind of stuff. And that kind of attention to detail is important. Also, they have financing plans for people who need tree takedowns. Deadwooding and pruning, super important for you. Mulching, you can order online. The Magic Bean for all your fall gardening and fall planting, you can order that online as well. The Magic Bean is a composting mixture. Longtime proud supporters of free common sense conservative radio, going on 20 years now. Hanson's Tree Service, hansonstree.com.
45 years ago, Stefanina's and Randy's Jewelry opened their doors in O'Fallon, Missouri, and you've been part of the story ever since. Join them for Anniversary Week as Stefanina's team up with Randy's on Friday, August 28th for a pizza party. Enjoy jewelry discounted up to 45%, gemstone giveaways, limited edition anniversary t-shirts, and a chance to win a Blackstone pizza oven. Get details and RSVP at randys-jewelry.com and help them celebrate 45 years in business.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps in the afternoon.
Senator Hawley, I grew up in North County. The subdivision that I lived in, Coldwater Creek, ran through our neighborhood.
The federal government dumped radioactive waste into the water, into the air, and they knew about it. They've done it for 70 years, and they've lied about it. And people in our state and in that region in particular have gotten sick and died.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps, weekdays at 4 on News Talk STL.
Chris Arps here, and after Becky and I leave church on Sunday, we head down the street to Capriotti's to grab a classic meatball sub. I love Capriotti's, and you will too. Visit Capriotti's now at 2 locations on Manchester, McKnight, and Rock Hill, and now in Creve Coeur on Olive, just 1 mile west of 270.
Columbo and Company.
Notable Democrats already positioning for a presidential run, including AOC, who some say could be the next Barack Obama. Scary Thought will discuss Wednesday, plus Rodney Boyd and closest cabinet.
Live and local, weekdays at 2 on News Talk STL. The Allman Report, sponsored by Newsteaders Fine Jewelry.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Second hour of the 3 Martini Lunch is going to be rocking for you. You know, I remember it wasn't too long ago that people were calling for the banning of TikTok. Well, now, imagine how far we have come, because there are a ton of people in President Trump's cabinet who have now decided to camp out there on TikTok. So we'll follow up on that. There is a Democrat from Michigan who is now saying she's tired of being talked to about El Sayed. And I was going to bring you this yesterday and just ran out of time. The Green Con, and it's a really wonderful little mini doc. I'm not going to play the whole thing for you, but it establishes that we indeed have been conned. I think you guys already realize that, but maybe not to the extent that this documentary lays it out. And we'll go a little local too, as we love to be live local as well. And so I've got a little bit of that for you down the line as well. It's Common Sense Radio. It is the Allman Report here on News Talk STL. Hope you guys are having a great Wednesday. Rick Pogue says, hey, I'm in the Lake of the Ozarks. I brought my boat all the way up from Key West. Rick sent me a picture of what it's called. Let me see here. Not Responsible. KNOT. It's got 3 engines in the back. He goes, come on down. So anyway, Rick's going to be on with us tomorrow for the Rick Pogue segment. This is Common Sense Radio. It's the Allman Report on News Talk STL.
This is Stacy with Reach Reproductive Health. Join us October 22nd for our annual Reach Gala at the Factory in Chesterfield. It will be a night of incredible live music and inspiring stories, and we're excited to finally reveal our keynote speaker, Michael Gosling, birth son of Michael McDonald of the Doobie Brothers, who will share his powerful story and adoption witness. You won't want to miss it. Register or sponsor a table at outreachforlife.org/gala.
Hi, this is Congresswoman Ann Wagner from Missouri's 2nd District. I work every day to put more money in your pocket, secure the border, protect our shared Missouri values, and keep our communities safe. Whether it's visiting one of my public events in neighborhoods around the district or by contacting my office, I want to hear from you. If you need help with a federal agency, please contact me at wagner.house.gov.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
News this hour at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. A new Commerce Department report indicates U.S. economy remains sluggish.
The Commerce Department says the U.S. economy grew a sluggish 1.5% in the second quarter of this year, but spending stayed strong. Growth in the gross domestic product, the nation's output of goods and services, decelerated from 2.1% in the first quarter. The reason for the lackluster growth was imports, rising at a 12.5% annual pace in the second quarter. A lot of that being computer chips that support AI. Consumer spending increased at an annual healthy 3.4% from 0.5% the first quarter, but prices rose 3.7% in July compared to a year earlier. Donna Warder, Washington.
Another socialist just secured a Democrat Senate nomination. More on that growing trend from correspondent Willie Nelson.
Socialist Nikayla Jasmine Thomas has won the Democratic primary for U.S. Senate in Oklahoma. Thomas defeated more moderate candidate Jim Priest and will face Republican Kevin Hern in November. In a recent interview, Thomas said capitalism is what's destroying our country right now. She starts the general election with a massive financial disadvantage against Hern. Willie Nelson, Washington.
On Wall Street, slow going right now. The Dow is off 122 points. A high-tech NASDAQ off by about 42. From the Empire State Building to the White House, tributes are flowing in for country music icon Dolly Parton, who passed away at the age of 80.
In New York, the Empire State Building lit up in pink sparkle lights in memory of Dolly Parton. The building announcing that at 9:25, as in 9:25 p.m., the lights would be turned on as a tribute to her hit movie and song, 9 to 5. President Trump ordering American flags to be flown at half-staff in honor of the iconic country music singer who passed after a brief and private battle with cancer. Laura Winters reporting.
More on these stories at townhall.com.
Maybe this is you too. There is enormous frustration right now with healthcare costs. It's amazing. Healthcare costs for families in the last 20 years have almost tripled, and it just keeps getting worse. All this to say, this is why MediShare is so in demand right now. People are looking for alternatives, and MediShare is proven. And yeah, you could save thousands of dollars a year and actually like it more. Here's the number. They're easy to talk to. 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
This hour of News Talk STL brought to you by Window World of St. Louis. For replacement windows, doors, and siding, call 800-GET-WINDOWS. That's 800-GET-WINDOWS. From the News Talk STL Weather Center.
It's hot and hazy out there today, but good news is on the way in regards to the humidity levels. But we'll talk about that in a moment. 92 for the high today under partly cloudy skies. An isolated thunderstorm possible this afternoon, but really not likely. If a storm were able to form, it could become severe. But the drier air moves in tonight, lows in the mid to upper 60s. The high tomorrow, 87, but with lower humidity under partly cloudy skies. In the First Alert Weather Center, I'm KMOB meteorologist Kent Earhart.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf.
800-240-4586. 800-240-4586. That's 800-240-4586.
Dive into adventure with Great American Divers. We're your local veteran-owned scuba center offering PADI certification courses, equipment repairs, and dive travel opportunities. From beginners to experts, we got you covered. Kids can join our SEAL Teen classes, and we even host pool parties. Our experienced staff is passionate about teaching, and we're the only center in the area with our own indoor heated pool. Great American Divers on Central School Road in St. Charles. Visit greatamericandivers.com. Great American Divers, where adventure runs deep.
What makes Stifel different? Financial advisors come first, with the independence to do what's right for clients and the support to build lasting success. That's why Stifel was named #1 overall in employee advisor satisfaction among investment firms by J.D. Power. Stifel, where success meets success. For J.D. Power 2026 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
I want to share something with you. Cooking a pizza using coal creates an amazing pizza. Only one place to get it, Napoli Brothers Pizza and Pasta in Chesterfield. Of course, they offer a wide variety of pasta, but you just visit the website napolistl.com, dine in or take out, and get ready for patio season. Napoli Brothers Pizza and Pasta in Chesterfield Valley. Try it. You can thank me later.
Hey, it's Vic. If you have a tree that you think is dead, you can get Roots Plus to remove it for you. Or if you think the tree is savable, or if Roots Plus thinks it's savable, they can save your tree and you keep your cash. Call them and find out what that's all about at 314-440-3662. The crews are great. They get things done. They removed the tree for me, and they did expert work, and I definitely will put my name on their company. So save the tree with Roots Plus, LLC. RootsPlusLLC.com.
The Democrat Party is going to have to go back toward the center.
News, analysis, and opinion.
I've never called a talk show before, but this just irked me.
101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
Good afternoon, everyone, and happy Wednesday to all of you and yours. Yes. It is the 3 Martini Lunch. It's Common Sense Radio. Jamie Allman here with you. Ashlyn over there. And, yeah, News Talk STL, ladies and gentlemen. So I've known Joe Holloman for a long, long time. Joe Holloman is one of the good guys. And he's at the Post-Dispatch. And leave it to Joe, because, you know, he does a lot of reporting that matters kind of to everyone. I'm like he does stuff. It's like that isn't all this fancy political stuff. He's a regular guy, and I really like Joe Holloman. And lo and behold, just as I was thinking, you know, whatever happened, literally yesterday, I don't know what came up. Oh, it was because there's a Clancy murder trial. I don't even know what that is. But do you know what that is? What is that? Am I like really out of it?
It's really bad. She killed her 3 kids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and this is the postpartum lady?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Okay, I got you. She's the one who said postpartum, says she had to kill her. But you know what? Many women suffer from postpartum that don't kill their babies. I mean, I don't know how could you possibly let somebody off for that? It was shocking, all the women online who were like, yeah, postpartum is an excuse to kill your baby. It's like, wait, what? Yeah, coming from most people who don't have babies. But anyway, the Clancy trial, I see the Clancy word up there, and I'm thinking, you know, whatever happened to this Lisa Clancy sign stealing thing? Like, you know, and remember, she allegedly, they say, stole a sign from a, you know, little middle area there, right there on Forsyth or Wydown, one of those streets, from the black county executive who, candidate for county executive. She picked up his sign and put it in her car. And they were investigating for like a week. Well, they're still investigating. How much investigation do you have to do when the main witness is a police officer? I mean, apparently a police officer in Clayton saw her do it. That's how we found out it was Lisa Clancy, because he ran her plate and did all that kind of thing. And so the main witness is a police officer. So how complicated is this? But I was thinking to myself yesterday, hey, whatever happened to the Lisa Clancy case? And lo and behold, today, Joe Holloman has an article, man after my own heart here. He says, case of councilwoman suspected of swiping campaign signs also goes missing. I'm thinking, right on, buddy. So he's on top of this, and here's what he had to say. Police suspect that St. Louis County Councilwoman Lisa Clancy made campaign signs disappear in mid-July. Now the case itself appears to be vanishing. At issue is which police department will pursue the case, with the St. Louis County and Clayton departments maintaining the incident no longer is or even has been their concern. Isn't that interesting? So you have two police departments who basically looks to me like they're backing off or confused about the jurisdiction, and I understand that. In early August, county police said they closed their investigation into the incident that occurred on July 16th near Washington University in Clayton. They submitted their report to the Clayton Police Department on July 23. On Wednesday, county police repeated its position. There is nothing new on our end, Mary Schmidt said, she's the spokesperson, because the incident occurred within the city of Clayton. A miscellaneous report was completed and referred to the Clayton Police Department for any follow-up. Clayton Police on Wednesday said the county department does not have the authority to assign cases to it. It remains a St. Louis County investigation, Jenny Schwartz said. She's the police corporal, adding that the matter never has been Clayton's responsibility. Schwartz said it is up to county police to present its findings to prosecutors. At that point, the St. Louis County Prosecuting Attorney's Office replied that it has received no application for charges in the case from any department at all. The incident kicked off more than 5 weeks ago when a county officer saw her, Clancy, stop her car near the intersection of Wydown and Big Bend Boulevards and grab a campaign sign promoting State Senator Brian Williams, who's running for county executive. Now, let me ask you this, though. So if a county police officer is the one that is the witness who saw Clancy stop her car near the intersection of Wydown and Big Bend's, why would that not be a county police case? Like, why would they close their investigation? And you have to imagine that, and I'm sorry, Williams was running for, he lost to Jake Zimmerman. And here's the problem. And eventually we'll have to talk to Mark Harder about that. I think he's still on vacation, but is there some kind of feeling of pressure from St. Louis County Police over pursuing someone who oversees their budget? And you wonder whether that plays into any of this. I'm not accusing the county police department of being nefarious here. I'm just kind of wondering whether or not there might be some feeling of pressure, which wouldn't be legitimate. According to St. Louis County Police a report, there may have been other political signs in Clancy's vehicle. In the county report, the officer said he became suspicious because Clancy appeared to be acting in the capacity of a private citizen and not as a representative of law enforcement or city government. State law designates highway and traffic departments as being responsible for removing signs improperly placed in public rights of way. And that's what Mark Harder told us a while back, was that, hey, maybe this sign was in a public right of way and Clancy was taking it apart herself. She deputized herself as a street department person to pick up the sign. That would be her excuse, right? Well, that was illegally put there. It's like, well, that's not the job of a citizen to enforce laws or enforce any kind of ordinances or anything else. That's not the role of a citizen. And I wouldn't believe her if that was her story, because Clancy is not a good person. Clancy, a Democrat, first was elected to the county council. I mean, you should have seen her during COVID. I mean, she was a maniac. She includes Brentwood, Ladue, Maplewood, Richmond Heights, and Webster Grove. So she's my representative, by the way. The councilwoman did not immediately respond to a request for comment on Wednesday. That reporting is from Joe Holloman. And so, man, that's really frustrating, I think, for a lot of people, whether you live in St. Louis County or not. And it's like, man, if that were you or me, we would have already been nailed. There would have already been a trial or whatever. But the fact of the matter is, you can't escape the possibility that this is all because of her position. And she's being treated with kid gloves because of her position. Now, in my opinion, if a county police officer is the one who was the main witness, in my opinion, this is a county case. It's not necessarily a Clayton case. And I always thought that county police, and I don't know, and maybe you guys can answer this for me, I always thought that county police and local police departments operate in a parallel universe. Now, I don't know that. I don't know. Is that true? Like, if there's a county police officer in Clayton, that county police officer can pull somebody over, to my knowledge. I'm not quite sure about how that works. So it's not a jurisdictional thing as far as I'm concerned. Steve Gross, I have a couple of questions that I trust you may be able to answer or possibly investigate. When did the word singer become singer? And when did gluten become gluten? Oh yeah, I don't know. It's just the way people talk. Sometimes it's kind of like a Brooklyn-y thing. I think it's also a little bit of possibly a little bit of a thing that comes from the internet and from people watching videos and all that kind of thing. Speaking of videos and the internet, listen to this, people. So this is from our friends over at Real Clear Politics, and the headline is, all the cool cabinet officials are on TikTok. And nearly every cabinet-level agency created its own verified TikTok account and launched them on the same night in July. The White House created an additional TikTok account simply titled Cabinet to collate all the secretary's content into one place. And so 1 month later, you have the Homeland Security Department leading the pack with the most TikTok followers at around 165,000. The most prolific poster at 73 videos has been the Department of Housing and Urban Development, which is weird. How exciting can housing and urban development TikTok posts be, I wonder? And now for a new HUD post. It's like, what? It's about whatever. The Commerce Department sits in last place with around 5,500 followers and only 6 videos posted. And 5 departments have not yet created an account, including the State Department, the Department of War, the Central Intelligence Agency, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, and the Office of Management and Budget. And I think this is cool. I think it's good. And some of the posts sometimes are there's a popular video on TikTok that is to the tune of Choosing Texas, and it's from the Department of Homeland Security. And it is apparently very entertaining, and I can't really figure out a way to play it for you unless I have the audio down. No, I don't. I just don't know how to do this damn thing. I'm not on TikTok, but I probably should be, and I don't really know how to turn the volume on. But there's a video that's provocative from the Department of Homeland Security that shows a bunch of guys who are arresting a bunch of illegal aliens, and it's to the song "Choosing Texas." So I think this is good. This goes back to the day. I know there were people who wanted to ban TikTok and everything else, or to make TikTok somehow non-private, or to take it over. And my feeling at that time, and it was presumably because there was a bunch of pro-Hamas stuff on TikTok and everything else. I never cared whether TikTok was owned by China. I was very concerned about this idea that the government somehow would kind of own TikTok, which is not something I would like, because they would start to, and I don't care whether it's Trump government or liberal government. I don't want the government involved in deciding what's going to be posted on TikTok or anything else. And TikTok's a really super valuable tool, especially for a lot of musicians and people. A lot of people have started their careers using TikTok. So I'm a fan. I just need to get on there. I probably should. I need a social media midget. A midget that will assist me in organizing all of my things. I don't know why it has to be a midget necessarily. It doesn't. I thought it would be kind of fancy to have a midget doing that kind of stuff for you, like a smart midget. Good afternoon, everyone. Happy 3 Martini lunch. It's the Allman Report on News Talk STL.
I can give to be. I can be man full of color. Be I can be man black or white. Only to one heart I can be tonight.
I think we should be able to have a civil conversation.
The news and talk that matters to St. Louis.
This conversation has completely made me crazy.
This is complete insanity.
News Talk STL.
The Window World window, world famous. And you know what? It's great. It's right here in town. John Gillette and his team, Window World, 1-800-GET-WINDOWS, right there in our city. That's where they're shoving out all these beautiful, thermally superior windows. It's pretty darn amazing, I will say. These are double-paid windows. These are windows that are thermally superior to all the rest, saving you money on your heating and cooling bills. And also, they have the Good Housekeeping seal of approval. And, of course, they are one of the favorite kinds of windows for rehabbers. Qualified Remodeler magazine says that a lot of people who do remodeling, and I've seen this in my real estate career, a lot of people who do remodeling love to use the Window World window, and I've seen proof of that. These windows are unbreakable, and even, let's say, for some reason they have a lifetime warranty on these windows. There aren't many products out there that have lifetime warranties, but John and the team decided that, hey, we love this window, and we're going to back it up with a lifetime warranty on breakage and repair, all that kind of stuff, and replacement, and they'll take care of all of that for you. They have financing plans for you in the event that you need it, and also in the event that your credit is all good. So they'll take care of you on that way as well. 1-800-GET-WINDOWS. That's 1-800-GET-WINDOWS.
Hungry at midnight? Craving a home-cooked breakfast at noon? At Gingham's Homestyle Restaurant, we've got ya 24 hours a day. For 35 years, folks have been coming back for our famous fried chicken, bone-in catfish, country fried steak, slow-cooked pot roast, scratch-made pancakes, or a slice of homemade pie. Daily specials and a loyalty rewards program that actually pays off. There's always a reason to come back to Gingham's Restaurant in St. Charles. Skip the wait. Join our wait list on Yelp or at ginghamsrestaurant.com.
In Missouri, your home works hard to keep up with the weather. Johnson Heating and Cooling works harder. We're a local family-owned company specializing in residential heating and cooling, service, repair, replacement, maintenance, even new construction. Our NATE certified technicians and trained comfort specialists keep families comfortable across Wentzville, O'Fallon, St. Charles, and beyond. Call 636-332-4141 or johnson-heatingandcooling.com.
Stop before you dig. Click or call
dig every time.
Digging without having your underground utilities marked is like driving with your eyes closed. It's dangerous and irresponsible. Before you break ground, contact Missouri 811 online or by simply calling 811 to request a utility locate 3 working days before starting.
Stop before you dig. Click or call 811. Every dig, every time.
It's the law. Sponsored by Missouri 811.
Jammin' J. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, Jammin' J Auto Tire right there on Page Avenue. Integrity first and foremost. They are honest with you. This is really cool because Doug and his wife, they just do such a great job. They will assign an expert to you, to your car and everything else. And, you know, oftentimes when it comes to taking your car to a mechanic, you kind of take it in and it disappears and then they come out and tell you what's going on. They do a lot more with Jammin' J. What they do is they send you photos and videos, vehicle inspections sent right to your phone, and that's exactly so you can see what they found with your vehicle. Because, you know, obviously there are people who say, well, they can just make something up. It's like, well, Jammin' J would never do that. And aside from that, you have the video and the photo proof of what they found with your vehicle. Professional service advisor trained to take care of you and walk you through the entire process of repairs. And it's drop-off, pickup, customer loyalty program with reward dollars, so that's really super cool. And the membership in the rewards program is free, so you keep coming back and you'll build up to a free oil change or whatever it happens to be. Their work, and they've been in business for 16 years. This is a family-run operation. Their work is backed by a 2-year, 24,000-mile warranty. That is not very common in this car repair industry. And 2 years, 24,000-mile warranty on all the work they do. There are no exceptions, and that is very, very cool. All you have to do is go to jamminjauto.com. jamminjauto.com. You can book your appointment online. And by the way, you all who might have some fleet vehicles, whatever, check this out. Enterprise trusts Jammin' J with their fleet management and everything else. Enterprise is a big deal, and so you know you can trust Jammin' J for all of your fleet vehicle needs. jamminjauto.com, jamminjauto.com.
News, analysis, opinion.
We're voting on whether a witness who has received the benefit of a sweeping federal pardon can be ordered by this committee to answer questions.
Under the advice of my attorneys.
101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. The Allman Report, sponsored by Santino's Cigar Bar in Imperial.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's Common Sense Radio. It is the 3 Martini Lunch. Jamie Allman here with you and Ashland over there, and happy Wednesday to all of you and yours. Hey, you know, I wish I could do a better job of drinking more water, like hydrating, you know? And I don't know why. It probably shouldn't be. But I have a hard time drinking water. You know what I mean? Like, you give me a bottle of tequila, I'm like, but for some reason, I can't do that. What is it, 8 cups a day you have to have? So I admire all the people who carry around these 300-pound cups. My daughters have like 100 of these things. But I with the straw in them, you know, and but I can't do it. I mean, I have a little glass of water here, but I have a Coke Zero and I have a coffee, but I can't seem to get to the point where I am drinking. I do drink water. I do. I'm not like W.C. Fields, who had a rule against drinking water, and his rule was very simple. I don't drink water because fish, you know what in it. That's what he said, W.C. Fields. He was also an alcoholic, so that's probably why he's an excuse. But W.C. Fields said he did not drink water for that reason. He was kidding because W.C. Fields, of course, was a comedian and a damn good one at that. So I just can't figure it out. And I know it's really good for you, and I know it helps you, always hydrate and get that kind of thing. But I just can't quite do it. So sometimes I'm like struggling to like drink the cup of coffee, read the cup of water just to get there and do it. All right, man. I heard that commercial for Gingham's Restaurant, and they mentioned bone-in catfish. Man, there was nothing. I mean, catfish is just one of my evil pleasures. And I don't know why they call it really evil, but I think it's because it's more fatty than the other fish. But, man, a fried catfish nugget, ugh, I couldn't eat for like 3 weeks. But a fried catfish nugget with tartar sauce and hot sauce, that's what I would like right now. So if you guys want to drop on by, good afternoon. So now suddenly we've got Debbie Dingle, who was the one at one point who, I don't know whether she called Hassan Piker or Abdul El Sayed hot. One of those two she called hot, which coming from Debbie Dingle, you're like, and, I mean, it's okay, but, I mean, come on. You're an old lady, and you're just calling these Islamic jihadist crazies hot. It's like, that's disgusting, really, kind of, a little bit. So anyway, here's Debbie Dingle. They're asking her about El Sayed. Debbie Dingle, by the way, is a Michigan congresswoman, so hang on a second here.
Nobody speaks for this campaign. El Sayed said in a statement that, quote, nobody speaks for this campaign besides me and my campaign.
How long has Wolf Blitzer been at CNN? He's been at CNN since I was a kid. And he doesn't look any different than he did, God love him, when I was a kid. Like I was in college or something, and CNN started, and there was Wolf Blitzer with that same old beer and everything else, and he look any different.
El Sayed said in a statement that, quote, nobody speaks for this campaign besides...
He's drinking a lot of water, That's probably what is going on. He's hydrating.
El Sayed said in a statement that, quote, nobody speaks for this campaign besides me and my campaign spokespeople, end quote. And he accused politicians and pundits of trying to make this race about a Twitch streamer. Are you satisfied with how El Sayed has handled this uproar?
And of course, Wolf maintains his same level of boring delivery that he always has. But, I'll tell you what, it's great because Wolf Blitzer isn't annoying, so it's kind of nice to have, I always use this analogy, but it's true. He's kind of like the Marilyn Munster of a bunch of monsters at CNN. So anyway, he's asking Debbie Dingle about him.
Satisfied Sayed has handled this uproar.
Look, I'm going to say this to you. I'm tired of people trying to drag me into it. I strongly disagree with many of the things that Hassan Piker has said, from Israel to, quite frankly, if you're a woman who has fought against sexual violence and domestic violence her whole life, what he has said about rape, etc., is simply inexcusable.
Yeah. But she's sick of people asking her about it, and she doesn't want to be dragged into it. And it's really interesting how when it comes to the Democrat Party and members of the Democrat Party, they're never having to account for anybody within their ranks who is a weirdo or a rapist or an alleged rapist or whatever. So you've got, I don't know why I keep forgetting his name. What's it? Eric Swalwell. And you've got Plattner, who all this stuff happens, and they're all accused of these really heinous, terrible things, and they just go away. But then there's one Republican who winds up getting into similar trouble, and every other Republican always has to account for who these people, what these people are doing. Like, remember that one fat gay guy? What's his name again? The Republican who was always trouble. And every time a Republican appeared on television, they had to account for that dude. well, so and so said this. What do you think about that? But they never want to have anything to do with their messes. They just create the mess or they engage the mess, and then they just pretend like it never happened. Like people who endorsed Eric Swalwell or endorsed this Plattner guy are pretending they never even met these guys before. It's really crazy. It's kind of the same way people were no, it's the Jason Barty, Frank. No, it's that other. He's a Democrat anyway. It's the other guy. I can't remember his name, but whatever. But they never have to account for any of these people. But Republicans always have to account for every little crumb that is spoiled in the food. It's like so crazy. And these people just wash their hands of it. It's like Ted Kennedy didn't drown his girlfriend. Let's go ahead and make him the nominee for president in 1980. I mean, really? Hey, did you know, Bill Clinton, don't you remember, like, he molested an intern with a cigar, like raped an intern with a cigar? I'm sorry, what? They don't even, and instead what they do is they start pointing to President Trump and his executive assistant. They're having an affair, It's like that nosy woman. I'm trying to think of that commercial. And there was like a nosy woman in the commercial. And that's kind of what it's like. By the way, and then what they do is they defend the indefensible. So ABC News decides that there's simply not enough to do. So they decide, I know what we'll do. We'll just go back in time, and then we'll bring up this Alex Pretty's grieving family. And like, okay, it's August something, and you're talking to Alex Pretty's grieving family. Alex Pretty, who came to an ICE protest armed with a gun and then kicked the back of a vehicle's lights out and then was summarily shot. And so here's what...
Let me express all of our condolences.
Oh, listen to that. Stephanopoulos. I mean, this guy came to an ICE protest with a gun and then kicked the lights out of the back of an ICE vehicle. And George Stephanopoulos is apologizing for the entire nation to the Alex Pretty family, not even acknowledging anything. Now, do I wish he wasn't shot? Of course I do. And I don't even know exactly what the circumstances were. And as far as I'm concerned, I think that an investigation is warranted. I think it's been going on, whatever. And apparently, so far, there has not been any kind of wrongdoing. But how is it that you embrace all of these bad people who are knowingly bad? We can see it. Like George Floyd or Michael Brown or that rapey margarita boy that the senator had drinks with. I mean, and you're like, oh no, they're great people. They're fantastic. It's like heroes. How about this stabby dude at the track meet? They find out that before he went and stabbed the white kid at the track meet, and because he stabbed a white kid, the black kid is immediately innocent. He's the victim, right? And so it turns out that he wanted to stab somebody and lick the blood off the knife and all this stuff. That doesn't get reported at all. But you would think this guy was an American hero, a victim, and everything else. Of course, that revelation kind of ruined his chances for a new trial. Kind of like, hey, we want a new trial. It's like, oh, hey, we got this. Him saying he wants to lick blood off a knife. Okay, never mind. It's like, yeah, right. Anyway, let's go to this is an exclusive interview. Probably, George, because nobody else really wanted to talk to the family because they know what the deal is with Alex Pretty. But
let me express all of our condolences. It's so hard for all of us to imagine what you've been through over the last 7 months. My first question is, it has been 7 months. Why do you want to speak now?
Why did he bring a gun to an ICE protest? Oh, and remember at the time he was killed, they're like, Alex Pretty is a nurse. How could you do that to a nurse? He's serving. He's like, he hasn't been a nurse for like 6 months.
We really want to get the facts out of what happened to Alex that day.
Okay. I'll tell you a few of them. Alex brought a gun to an ICE protest. Alex was screaming at the ICE agents. Alex kicked the lights out of the back of an ICE car. So those, I don't know, just letting you know.
I mean, we've seen what happened. The videos are pretty clear. But we want justice. We want accountability for the people that did this to Alex.
If you say you want to get the facts out, let's start with the facts about your son, your brother. Who was Alex?
He was a good man.
He's a good kid.
He
Oh, I thought George Stephanopoulos, he says, you want the facts out. I thought he was going, well, I'll tell you the facts. Alex brought a gun to an ICE protest. Alex was screaming like a banshee at the ICE agents, and Alex kicked out the lights, the back lights of a van. And but so this didn't go the way I thought it was. I thought he was going to tell the facts, but he's going to let the family tell the facts about Alex. And my guess is they're going to ignore the fact that he brought a gun to an ICE rally and kicked out the lights of a car. But
for the people that did this to Alex.
If you say you want to get the facts out, let's start with the facts about your son, your brother. Who was Alex?
He was a good man.
He's a good kid.
He cared deeply about his community. Minneapolis was his community. He wanted people to be treated fairly, no matter what walk of life.
And when he sensed that they weren't, by his own opinion, he brought a gun to an ICE rally. He screamed at ICE agents and kicked out the back lights of their car. So it's interesting how, these people all think, and this is the way a lot of liberals think, unfortunately. They all talk about how they want justice. And this is why when you hear them say, no justice, no peace, that means basically if we don't get our way, we're going to temper tantrum and blow things up and run cars into people and light fires and kick out the rear ends of ICE agents' cars and bring a gun to an ICE protest. That's what, when you hear somebody say no justice, no peace, that is a signal to you that they're going to commit an act of violence if they don't get their way. And that's what they're saying. And it's funny how the people who are all saying they love peace and they want justice and they want equity and all that kind of thing, and then when it doesn't happen, they decide that they're going to deliver very unequitable types of punishments like kicking out the rear of a car or lighting something on fire, screaming in somebody's face, attacking somebody, threatening their lives, throwing paint on them, doing whatever. It's a weird kind of culture they've got going on there.
Their background was.
You call Alex your hero.
I do.
Why?
Because of who he was as a person. I aspire to be like him. He always stood up for what he believed in.
Yeah, okay. And you stand up for what you believe in, but there are lots of people who stand up for what they believe in, but don't do it by kicking out the back ends of a law enforcement vehicle or bringing a gun to a hostile ICE protest. So, I mean, this is so weird how and of course, there's no video in this entire interview of Alex Pretty doing what he's doing. Like, there's no video of it at all. This is kind of like in the wake of the Michael Brown thing. The only picture we saw was Michael Brown in in a graduation gown. Oh, this is Michael Brown. He couldn't have been a bad guy. He's in a graduation gown. It's like that's really what this is. The whitewashing of this is pretty unbelievable.
And that's what brought him into the streets, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
What did he tell you about why he was protesting?
He wasn't really protesting. I mean, and that's one thing we want.
Yeah, he wasn't protesting. You're right, man. He wasn't protesting. He was agitating. because people protest and have protested throughout all of the nation's history, including the civil rights protests. But the civil rights protests, when they protested, they didn't bring guns to the civil rights protests, and they didn't kick out the lights of police cars and beyond, or cars of white people or what have you. And so, it's pretty amazing, actually, to tell you the truth. And I think this is really something that I believe that we should respect and admire, is that during the civil rights protests, and these are people fighting for the right to drink out of the same drinking fountain, fighting for the right to vote. Like, I hate to admit this, but I was alive when black people could not vote. I was a baby. I was born in 1963, but I was alive a good year where black people could not vote. Can you believe that? So it wasn't that long ago, because look at me, I'm a spring chicken. But the fact of the matter is, when you think of it that way, and when you think of people and black people in America who didn't have the right to vote, they couldn't even sit at the same lunch counters as white people. They were not allowed to use the same drinking fountains, use the same bathrooms. What you guys know exactly what it's like, and yet not. Well, I don't know. There might have been a black person here and there, but yet they managed to get their voting rights and civil rights and equal rights without one drop of blood, except for their blood. As you know, a lot of civil rights protesters in Mississippi Burning, that one, they died. But not one civil rights protester ever killed. Well, I mean, I might be mistaken, so please forgive me if I am. But to my knowledge, the civil rights people did all this without burning one thing down, without hurting people, except there might have been some fights here and there. And they managed to do that. And boy, the consequential nature of what they were fighting for. Hell, to tell you the truth, we had a Revolutionary War, right? We toppled the government. We took up arms against the government. And blacks and civil rights leaders didn't do that. I mean, there were some people who wanted to be a little more violent. Malcolm X did, and Martin Luther King didn't, but he did sometimes. He did his speech. I Have a Dream was a speech kind of for everybody, and it was kind of more for, white people too, But when Martin Luther King spoke in churches, I think Give Us the Ballot was one of the more famous speeches, which I think is pretty hardcore. But he was even talking about how they were going to die fighting for their rights. Now, the modern day liberal, and I'm not calling those blacks liberals, but the modern day protester is calling for other people to die. They're calling for other people to have their restaurants burned. They're calling other people to have their roads blocked, or what have you, or the authorities murdered or blown up or done whatever. And they're just simply angry about people arresting illegal aliens. Black civil rights marchers were wanting the right to vote. I mean, and they didn't kill anybody. In fact, with Martin Luther King, he's the one who died. When, as far as I'm concerned, the blacks at that time had every reason to be violent, and we're not. So there's your lesson for these punks like Alex Pretty and all these violent protesters and stuff. You guys are the amateurs in the fight for equity and civil rights and justice. The real Americans did it in the 60s and succeeded. You never will. because you're fighting on behalf of bad people. It's kind of how that goes. So good luck with all that. Good afternoon, everyone. It's Common Sense Radio. It's the Allman Report on News Talk STL.
If you find yourself feeling out of place in the world, it's comforting to know conservative values haven't been abandoned everywhere.
Thanks for being my voice in all this.
This is News Talk STL.
There are people out there that feel the way that I feel and say what I say.
Welcome home.
Ladies and gentlemen, Grasser Electric, Shane Grasser and Josh now are teaming up, and this is how long it has been, this relationship between Common Sense Radio and Grasser Home Services. And I call it Grasser Electric because originally in 2005, when I started Common Sense Radio, Shane Grasser was one of my first sponsors and really super proud of that. And that's when it was Grasser Electric. Since then, they have added plumbing, and it's really kind of cool. I've experienced both sides of Grasser Home Services, Jake the plumber and Sean the electrician, and they came to my house a few months ago and took care of business and made sure everything was cool. I had a few things I needed repaired. I like to tell people when it comes to getting Grasser Home Services there, plumbing is more sometimes an emergency type of thing, so you might not make a list of all your plumbing needs. But when it comes to electrical stuff, there's annoying things like outlets that jiggle too much or lights that are flickering on and off or anything like that that you need fixed. Make a list, and like I do, and Sean comes over, gets everything taken care of. I even had a porch light that I had to put back on, this kind of thing. And he'll take care of business. And they're such pros. They're really good at what they do. They're not camping out in your house. They're taking care of business. Boom, 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 lickety-splickety, and then on the road. And you are happy with Grasser Home Services. Don't forget, too, as we go, summertime was great to have them, but wintertime is a great time to have them, too. The Grasser Backup Generator. These are backup generators that come in all kinds of different colors, so they kind of match your home or whatever. They're very discreet, but they're there. They're there when you're the only one on the street with power, and everybody else is kind of like, man, I wish I had the Grasser Home Services generator. So check it out, GrasserHomeservices.com. That's GrasserHomeservices.com.
I'm Dr. TJ, owner of the Institute of Natural Health, co-owner of Optimal Nutraceuticals, and the host of Wellness One. Wellness One is designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you common sense, science-based information regarding health and wellness. On the show, we discuss topics like thyroid health, gut health, hormone optimization, and many others. Our show airs Saturdays at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. right here on Newstalk STL. And you can visit us at inhstl.com. That's inhstl.com.
Hey, it's Mike Ferguson. Mario's Donut Restaurant, that's your place to go for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. From mouth-watering sandwiches, omelets, delicious gyros, and Mexican dishes, to their revamped menu with cannolis, tiramisu, baklava, and danishes. And don't forget those famous donuts. Dine in or carry out, Mario's friendly staff is ready to serve you with love and care. Mention Newstalk STL when you visit, or just visit mariosdonutrestaurant.com.
Buckingham Pest Control. Noel Buckingham, thank you so much for supporting free, common sense, conservative radio as you have done for a long time. I've known Noel for, golly, when I lived in an old house in Maplewood. He's just a great guy and helped me there. He started his company and has grown into a really fabulous pest control company. He's always thinking, like his brand new product that we talked about even last year, and of course is alive and well this time around, is proprietary pest control insulation. So it's insulation and it is a pest control tool for you. And it's great to have in your attic where a lot of pests begin, but anywhere you need it, it will serve you well in keeping the pests out. And I'm talking about bugs, critters, you name it. It is a pest control insulation, and it was all the rage. Last time around I talked about it, but I'm about to lay it on you again as we get into fall and winter, so it's really super cool. BuckinghamPestControl.com. Now is the time, too, when you're going to have a lot of termites. You're going to have a lot of the brown recluse spiders who are starting to kind of make plans to live in your crib for a little while. Those things are bad. St. Louis has a real rough time with them. And, okay, too, St. Louis, as we head into October, mosquitoes still hang around September, October, and we still like to be outside September, October in St. Louis, so make sure you get that mosquito control going if you haven't already. Noel uses spray. He doesn't use a fogger, and that's really cool, too. BuckinghamPestControl.com is where it's at. Tell them Allman sent you, and Noel and his team will be out to help you get pest-free. BuckinghamPestControl.com.
Rhino Shield is engineered to outlast paint, formulated to outsmart the elements. Rain or shine, sleet or snow, mold or mildew. Our home exterior coatings intelligently designed to stand up to Mother Nature. Call 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
On the next
Larry Connors, USA.
The story behind the story, the incredible life of a true legend, Dolly Parton.
Larry Connors, USA. Now, weeknights 6 until 8 on News Talk STL.
Good afternoon, everyone, and happy Wednesday. So, I didn't get to this story yesterday. I'm sure you've heard it time and time again, but Target is poor Target. They're always getting in trouble for something, you know. As you know, after taking Natalie up to college, both here and up there in Georgetown, I was a frequent visitor. We were frequent visitors to Target up there. Because Target is a great brand, and that's just the way it is. So anyway, now they're having to apologize and remove this Halloween costume. And we're going to get into a lot of this stuff, right? Because it happens. It just around Halloween, everybody's always like looking for an offensive Halloween costume they can bitch about, you know? So anyway, there's a Halloween costume, and when you look at it, it's like, well, that doesn't really look like Jim Crow. But I don't even. Yeah, they had this Halloween costume, and they apologized. Said we pulled an offensive Halloween costume that should never have been part of our assortment. It's no longer for sale. As a company, we got this wrong, and we are deeply sorry. We know this is especially hurtful for our black guests. Apparently, the costume appears to resemble a painting depicting actor Thomas Dartmouth Rice, who made famous a fictional character named Jim Crow in the 1830s. The character donned blackface and performed as a singing comedian with a stereotypical accent. Now, first of all, can we go to 58 real quickly, babe? Okay. So here, first of all, who comes up with this stuff? Like I don't really even know how you could possibly come up with an outfit like this. It doesn't really look like it, but it actually kind of does. But only if you look at the old cartoon, which is from, golly, where's it from? Like the 1830s. Like, when was the last time you were scouring the internet for 1830s cartoons? But anyway, it turns out, and the pose is the same. So the sale on the Halloween costume is exactly the pose of this cartoon of Jim Crow. It's like, why would you guys do this? And, of course, Target, I don't know. I'm going to look more into this and figure out who made the costume. But my goodness gracious, it's always something. And, of course, never mind that the person in the costume for the ad for the costume is black. So, you know, it's unreal, the things people think about. And I'd love to know what they were thinking when they came up with this one. Anyway, people, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Ashlyn, thank you so much for everything. You guys, thank you so much for listening to the show. Coming up next, Tony Colombo and Colombo and Company here on News Talk STL.
Hi, it's Mark Harder with RE/MAX Results, the largest RE/MAX franchise in the region. The summer housing market is hot, and the fall market looks to be as hot. If buying or selling a home is in your future, it is time to act now. Someday is not a day on the calendar, but today is. Call me, Mark Harder, for fast results. RE/MAX Results. 314-852-8933. 314-852-8933. And start packing.
Got scrap metal, junk cars, or old appliances taking up space? Turn that clutter into cash. Since 1968, 21 Recycling and Scrap Metal has been the area's trusted name for recycling. We buy copper, brass, aluminum cans, scrap iron, wheels, catalytic converters, AC units, water heaters, washers, dryers, and yes, junk cars too. With our brand new truck scale on premises, getting paid is fast and easy. Old Highway 21 by Highway M or 21-recycling.com.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNVS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
News is on.